Alright, sounds like things might be going through... Oh, wait, not yet. Oh, boy. Damn it. Almost ready, guys. And here we go. All right. Oop. Hello. I'm gonna take another 2 minutes, push back 5 minutes because I really need to get water, but I'll be right there. Okay, back. Hello? Hoy Ninja, hey, what's up? Thanks for coming. Great to see you, Dan, or at least see you in the chat. Alright. So, because I'm already late. Oh, dang it, I thought I already loaded Circle of Orion up. Alright, well, we gotta give it 1 minute for the what's it to actually load up. Excuse me. Ah. All right. Is it? Are we good? Are we live? I mean, I know we're live, but I mean, is the project okay? So the project's loading up. Yep. So just because of how late it is, I'm going to be jumping right into the project itself. And any questions or stuff will have to come at the very end. I know people tend to come in a little later on this, or they have the past few streams. So yeah, we're gonna be. Yep. Microphone's falling down. And I, unfortunately, because I was rushed, didn't really have time to make up a proper schedule, so I'll just try to go through stuff as I remember it. Hang on. Ah, that stinks. I've been dealing with car issues. Sorry to hear that, but... Wait, so you actually went to Japan and Germany? Oh, that's awesome. What for? Alright. So, this month... honestly, most of the work was on other projects, but I do have some stuff to report. Mainly, updates to the battle system. And actually, let me make sure the desktop audio... Oh, it's off entirely. Well, I want it not to be too high. So, alright. Let's just show you the current state of the battle system. Once it loads everything. Also one of the big things I've been, well, I'll get to this later, but performance has been a big focus of development, performance optimization, this last month, I guess. And, okay. Though, that's a lot less exciting. I guess I misunderstood what you said. Got it. But no, I do hope we can get the car situation sorted out. That stinks to hear. Anyway, you can see up here, I'm currently running at 6 gigabytes memory. Yeah, so optimization is a big focus. I'll get into that later, but so that means it's a lot less glamorous, the stuff to show off. But I do have battle system stuff. So. Right now I'm on the battle debug map. I have just a quick menu for selecting which battle to test. I need to add some more parameters for editing things like the party makeup and the party level and extra stuff like that. Honestly, probably would be best is for me to have a just I can tab and open or escape and open up the camp menu from here and edit things. But yeah. So for now, we'll just do the shrine because that's level 1. That's the first battle set. It's gonna need to take a second to load in. Whoa. Okay. So okay, battle splash is not working, but here we got our first look at the new battle UI. Turn order. Rounds, because this works on system of rounds. Obviously normal stuff, party stuff here, abilities. Up here at the other corner, I have I'm not entirely sure what this would be, but it's like an extra. I guess I'm calling it the command points right now, or technical points, because I don't want to have it abbreviated CP for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's my idea is that the enemy and the player party will both have one of these. So don't entirely know how it works. There's various possibilities. One could be striking weaknesses get you points. I have it right now that it's just every round you get an extra point, and then you would use it on stuff. But my main thought for that is it'd be kind of non-traditional battle actions, especially stuff that because like it's really annoying to me in turn-based battle systems where it feels like you're kind of stuck and there's nothing to do on your turn. Especially if it feels like you're on the down low and you're going to die soon. It's like, well, I have no recovery items, so I'm just dead. I might as well give up. And so those are the sorts of abilities I'm thinking this might be. It's the sort of thing that you can always know you will have, or you can potentially gain more of. It's not a total consumable like items or MPs. And it would be like you potentially ways of reviving allies or extra stuff that you know, last-ditch effort if a battle's not going well. Although I do want to add like a metaphor-style retry battle at any moment thing as well. Iliart, welcome. Thanks for coming. Yes, I am still working on the game. As I'll get to, a lot of that is on performance, so it's not very showy. But, alright. Let's see. Skills. So this is fun. Maybe I'll show more of this in a minute, but I do have a lot of the basic skills, especially for magic in. So there's normal attack skills, there is buffing and debuffing, there's reviving, and I have some neat little tricks to automate this a tad. At one point I tried adding a lot of, actually for a while I had it where I had a bunch of different classes that automatically like set all the data for this, but it got too much to manage, so I tried to simplify it. But it's still pretty good. So yeah, so let's try using, just to show it off. Well, actually, we'll do one at a time to show off targeting first. So yeah, I got automated set up the camera, as well as when you're targeting everyone. It's really neat because it determines positioning based on like a bounding box around all the enemies. So I only needed to set up the once, and it should work for basically any type of enemy. So let's see. Let's try reducing their strength. I've got animations in. You can see the if I look at them, you can see the debuffs there. The status ailments as well as the turn. So let's try doing it on myself, but we'll do a single target. With Ellen, she's coming up next. All right, and then you might be able to hear a little bit. I do have some temp voices in. Those are just marketplace assets, so not final, but they add a bit of styling too. So now normal attack. We'll go with just that guy. So. Basic attack loop. So I do actually have even though oh yeah, that was a magic attack, which doesn't have animations or effects in yet. But what you saw there is I do have basic just a combat loop in, even with enemies that have different abilities. So so theoretically, I do have all the basics of combat in, except for I haven't tested both victory and defeat states yet. So when all the enemies die and when I die, what happens? I mean, I know the battle ends when all the enemies are dead, but I don't think it adds XP yet or anything. But yeah, so I think that's what I have to show on that. Jumping over to how some of this is handled. Let's go into blueprints. Actually, let's go to the framework plugin. Not Omega, the framework for the game specifically. So yeah, I just have one. I used to have a lot more. Sorry, let me back up. The way it used to work is not that one. I had tons of different blueprint data asset classes for different types of skills. So I'd have one for like one for magic attacks, one for magic buffs. What? Yeah, she is. Ellen is. Says Ellen is a giant compared to her party members. She is. Yeah. Obviously, those are not final models. A lot of stuff involving scaling does need to be worked out. But I can kind of show something neat in regards to that a bit later if I remember. But yeah, I do need to make the models for Leo and Matilda and all the other party members as well. But so I used to have it where I had different blueprint type for different for like attack magic, buffing magic, healing magic, blah blah blah. And the idea would be I would set it up so blueprints would handle a lot of the functions, would handle a lot of the automate a lot of the code. So I just need to be like switch out the level and the element, and everything would apply from there. But long story short, that got to be too much to manage and keep up with. It made things very complicated, even though it was quote unquote easier. It wasn't actually easier because it was adding so many assets I needed to manage. So I just made one skill type with all the parameters I need. So actually, instead of using normal animations, I actually use level sequences for the attack animations, which is why you have sequence, instigator, you have the instigator and the target sequence, which I can go to the ability and show in a little bit. The power, which I don't think is just used for visual display. It doesn't actually do anything right now. The impact visual effect, which is also a sequence, and then of course the Omega's effect asset, effects struct, which allows me to determine the damage done and whatever. The impact Q, which is on top of different than the impact VFX, as well as some just extra information like the targeting. Well, here what is the targeting range? What is the damage type? What's the relevant attribute? And this stuff is optional depending on the type of ability, what it does. And then normal name icon tags, blah 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 blah. So as well as flags for things like auto target first. This is mainly used on the guard ability, where it basically says, hey, of all our possible, instead of going through and letting the player target, instead of letting the player target, automatically target the first possible character that this ability can hit, and then execute immediately. There's target all, which is obviously does this ability target all or only one character from the range, and then move to target, which is mainly for attack, though maybe some text will use it as well. Which is just like on the animation, do I move up to the target or do I stay where I am in the row? And I'm sure I'll add more as time goes on, but so let's go to the. If I go to the ability turn action. I think the action is one. This is what's kind of neat is I figured I was able to get a lot of mileage out of essentially just having 2 level sequences per skill asset. One sequence that plays on the instigator first, and then one that plays on the target. And by target, it plays on the midpoint of the target. So like that for magic, for example, is the common area. I'll need one animation that's like, say if it's Ellen. Well, let me go into the actual skill so I can show you. If it was say Ellen casting a fire spell, I need one animation for her casting, which would be played on her, and then one for the actual fire visual effect, which would be played here. And then that's because like a fire spell might have an effect that plays over all of the enemies, and then impact effects is stuff that gets played on the individual target. There are some hacky ways to work with this, but that's basically how it works. And yeah, so here's the ability when activated. Does a bunch of setup stuff, saves our location, moves to target if we need to, then plays the sequence on the instigator, then plays the sequence on the target, which actually should say sequence target. And then we have some animation events for impact, for visual effects. I think this one actually needs to go, but whatever. So, yeah, that's where the battle system's at. One thing, especially in order to save time, but also to give some more variance and surprise to combat, is I added. Sorry. Where is it? Oh yeah, I added this actually natively to Omega Game Framework, which is because I don't remember when I added it, but I added a component that I'm using called Combat Encounter, which takes in a battle stage like this one right here, and then will spawn an encounter from a actor class. But because I'm trying to reduce the number of actors I have, because that actually does add up, especially editor performance. So like if I go to here, these are the main ones that I use, and some of these I actually can get rid of. I think it's just these. Well, there's because these. I guess you need to think of these as what they are. These are blueprints. These are like the blueprint for a house, and then these are like the data assets are like the decoration. I'm sorry, I'm tired, and my brain's getting confused. Basically, what happened, what I did is I created a data asset for Omega Game Framework that lets me create these different types of scripts that for each different possible encounter. So like for a boss fight, I would just have one enemy on. But for normal encounters, what I can do, and actually this is a boss fight, so let me show that. It lets me set things like the enemies, the minimum, maximum number. I'm not explaining this well. Basically, this is the encounter asset. This is for each encounter. So like the one I just showed off here, Regional Shrine. That's a Ridge Shrine. That's like the first location, the first dungeon in the game is the Regional Shrine, and I just have one encounter asset. As opposed to a bunch, because the way that works is if I just go Regional Shrine, this encounter here, I have a script that I wrote up which is just lets me set all the possible enemies for this battle, the minimum number of enemies, maximum number of enemies, as well as their minimum level and maximum level. And then if I look up that script to show you, come on, man. I got to find the Omega. Oh, there we go. It's hard here. It's bigger on my other screen, but you guys can't see that. Demo and counter and then scripts. All right, what that does is it just it's a script right here where when the encounter begins, it just grabs all the possible enemies, runs through the max we're gonna have, and then spawns one randomly from all the possibilities. The point being that instead of having all preset enemy arrangements, they are randomized. So it's a lot more unpredictable as to what you get, and it's a lot less work on my part because I just need to decide on what enemies I want to use for that area, then create a single asset or encounter for that area, unless I want to make some different parameters, and then bobbity boop. So yeah, as I if I redo this over and over again, you can see it's constantly spawning in a different number of enemies and different types of enemies. And then of course, if I want to, we'll do a slime boss. This one's gonna be always the same because it's preset, which I can do by writing another script. And then, like I said, because of the way the bounding box works, this guy's much bigger than the other slimes. But because the target is based on the bounding box, it automatically adjusts the camera to the right size, which is nice for me because it means I don't have to set up a bunch of different parameters for every different enemy, which is really what I'm trying to avoid doing because that means I can add more enemies, and I just know they work without having to debug them. All right, so that's the current state of the battle system. I'll go and show you off another level while I talk about this next thing. So, since I finished the first trigger pass for Chapter 1, where is it? Teleport, here we go. Since I finished the first trigger pass for Chapter 1, I believe a month ago, I have done a little bit of the trigger pass on Chapter 2. So why is it recompiling? Oh, I think I switched to Vulkan, so now it has to recompile shaders. And the water shader is gone for some reason. Nope, there it is. Is it still compiling? All right. This is the first place you're going to go to in Chapter 2. It's the Southern Elvenport City. I used some marketplace assets, so some of this stuff needs to be edited to like I need to add some windows and stuff back in. But yeah, so this is the first place you'll go to. And on this topic, I have started on the cutscenes for Chapter 2 and the trigger pass for Chapter 2. So that's what I'm currently working on. So progress is being made there, but again, it's slow because I'm needing to work largely on optimization. Because as you may or may not know, there's a lot of talk about Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is a little bit in the naughty chair these days because of without being mean, a lot of games that use it aren't well optimized, and it's damaged its reputation. And it does seem to be a consistent pattern. So it's not like I certainly don't blame people for worrying about it and feeling that way, but it is something I'm working as much as I can to avoid through various means. So one thing is I'm really trying to move away from marketplace assets because of the bloat they add and their unwieldiness, and trying to use my own assets. For instance, I've spent a lot of time creating. Quickly, Iliart says, pretty understandable game logic wise, yet very similar to the turn-based JRPG template from Phoenix Market. I did use a little bit of his stuff, yeah. I don't think I used it a ton, but I have seen that, and I think I dabbled in it to look at the code at one point. Which is also similar to RPG Maker, with yours being more complex. Yeah, honestly, the more I get into this, the more I'm like, you know what? The RPG Maker guys knew what they were doing. I really should just kind of like look at that and take cues from them with how to design. But then obviously I have more potential complexity to it, and that's kind of where Omega Game Framework comes in, is handle a lot of that low level stuff, so I can add more complexity that is more manageable more easily. But anyway, back to the optimization. One of the things I've been doing, and this might be more something to talk about at a later date, is I've actually been trying to build a library of public domain game assets from around the web, mostly for myself, but because they're public domain, this might be able to be something I could share at a later date. So these are all CCO, either stuff I found or stuff I have made myself. Some of it being like, I have a lot of these just basic shapes, and the idea is I would just swap out materials on these, or textures on these, instead of creating duplicate meshes with different textures. There's some geoblocks similar to that. Well, no, yeah, in a similar sense, I have main geo. I have this geo folder, which is just a lot of different meshes, static meshes that are mainly used for basic shapes. So if I go into foliage, you can see here there's all this foliage with no materials on it. If I go into, where is it? Beams? I guess walls. There's a lot of walls here, but these all have debug materials on it, because the idea is you would take these and then create an actor, or better yet, an actor preset, which I might talk about in a minute, because that's a plugin I have available and have been using, to modify the textures on it. So you don't need to increase. This would reduce file size because there are fewer static meshes, and it's just more clever reuse of assets. Another example is rocks. I've spent a lot of time making these rocks, and Unreal's modeling tools come in really handy here. But yeah, I just have these all public domain, all CCO, so I can use however I want. These rock shapes I made, and I can just kind of blend them together however I want. Again, using a debug material, but I can easily come in and okay, I'm actually going to look at this one because this one will be easier to look through. If I go into main, assets, materials, and then I think it's instances or surfaces. Come on, man, don't lag on me now. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is another reason I want to work on performance, because for some reason performance is tanking all the time on my editor, and I don't know why. Okay, but I can just throw these on, or this one's probably better to show it off. And easy as. But it is a bit of work, as advantageous as this is. It is a bit of work to have to reapply all these materials to each of these individually, which is where actor presets come in. This is a plugin that I have available on my GitHub, and I've been working on moderately extensively. Let's see. If I go to, is it props? Or maybe it's regions. Yeah, this shows that off better. I'll just open up one of these. Actor presets are just a data asset that takes in a basic actor class, as well. What the heck? Why is that broken? Oh, I know why. Hang on. Sorry, I'm just putting that back on. It takes in a basic asset class, and when you drag and drop this into the world, it'll spawn that actor or asset into the world. That actor into the world. But then it applies whatever modifiers to it that you can set up, and these are scriptable. There's lots of different types. You can make your own. So for this one, I'm just adding in that cliff to a static mesh actor. But then I'm applying these extra materials to it, as well as a tag that I could potentially use for like PCG and stuff. So if I just take this and drag it in, right there, boom. And then, yeah, it's there. It's using that static mesh thing. So that way I don't have to create a lot more child actors, because that has its many problems of its own. But it automatically applies the material. Let's see if I look up tags. Yeah, the tag is right there. This is also a special, this is a static mesh, a child of the static mesh actor class called preset static mesh actor, which is basically the exact same, but adds the actor preset component, which adds this component on here. So if I can just change this out. Oops, sorry. I could just change this out and it'll change that out. And also if I ever update this, it'll update this as well. So yeah, lots of effort on optimizing file size, texture size, organizing my assets. What's cool about this, and I showed something similar to this, I think last time, but it's really useful for having some like randomized meshes as well. So I believe if I go ahead, let me go ahead and add a new actor preset to show off. Let's see, I think it's under miscellaneous. Actor preset, ridge, tree. Go and open that up. Preset static mesh actor. Okay, first modifier is going to be random, not random skeletal mesh. Static mesh? Do I not have just random? Why is there random? Okay, well, I can show off how to use this a little bit, because I actually am 1 minute from stoppage time, but that's okay. I went 5 minutes over. So, let me go into Omega via this, because this is easier to see. You know what? No, I'm using my big one. I don't care. All right, so let's go into here. No, wait, it's not an Omega. It's its own plugin. Actor presets. Here we go. Blueprints, modifiers. All right. Static mesh, random skeletal mesh. We'll do random. No, wait. We'll do it from start so I can see you. So if you wanted to use this, because it's on GitHub, you can. You could add your own modifier script by going to actor preset. I believe it's actor preset modifier. So actor preset modifier random static mesh. And wait, this is gonna work. Hang on. Over here, let's go on modify actor. Let's cast to static mesh actor. Get mesh component, which is somewhere around here. All right, static mesh. Oops, possibles. And what's nice is we have a seed in here as well, which we can use. So let's say random. Okay, can you stream? Well, we'll make a local stream as well, because we'll need that for the seed. But then we can set seed. Oops. Set the seed for that stream. Then let's say, wait. Random int in range from stream. Get our last index from that. Then set static mesh. And then get a copy. Voila. All right, so that one makes the possibles visible. Let's go back here. Add that in, random static mesh. And let's see, let's grab some trees. I believe these are also in my CCO collections, which would be under meshes, geo. Do I have them here? I may have them in a different folder right now because a lot of stuff's been moved around. Yeah, stuff. I'm in the process of reorganizing stuff, but let's just grab. We'll grab common trees. Add them. Oops. All right. Now, I'm gonna add them to the static mesh list. Deal with the performance just losing its mind, and I don't know why, because it seems to be killing my own stream as well. I don't know why it's acting this way. Give me a second. Why does this happen to me? All right, it looks like, is it running better? No, why are you, What's it even running at? Stat FPS. 10 frames. 27 frames. Okay, hang on a second. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna try and do something. I'm still here. Alright, well, it's probably about as good as it's gonna go, this stream. It don't even says 3.5 gigs, like in memory. I don't know why it's doing this, but whatever. Anyway, point is, if I find wherever the heck, where did I put it? Okay, here it is. Assets. No, active presets, and then the regional. Okay, I have the tree here. Let me drop it in. Boom, there you go, tree. And now randomly selected one based on the seed, which you can actually modify down here. Or you can do auto seed from position, which should, unless this is broken. Reset. Okay, so when I duplicate it, it works. But the point is, no, it doesn't. This is the thing that makes me irritated. Well, what it's supposed to do is randomize from that, but I guess it's broken. Like, everything breaks when I stream. Oh, is it? I'm an idiot. Okay. Alright. Thank you, Ilya, for letting me know. Well, let's demonstrate that again. So, point is, I made that active preset. Now I can, drag and drop it in here. Yay! And, oh, now it's working. A little bit. Auto seed from position. Yeah. Kind of working. Maybe if I select these all and do seed, auto seed from position. There you go. So it might be a little broken right now, but it is supposed to, yeah, just do that. Oh, it might be because I don't have the seed change, like it's set so that it doesn't change the seed if it's set to 0. But I don't know. Point is, yeah, that's easy to modify. And then without creating new static mesh actors or creating a child actor class, which is very expensive. It's part of why things are so slow for me. But I can create another one. Let's call it red. Same things basically, but and this actually just gave me an idea. Maybe I should add an option where you can add on, like you can add modifiers. So like I could add this tree modifier into this one first, and then it applies to the extra ones. But for now, we'll say materials. I can add one to modify materials by index. Let me see. I believe I have a red leaf. It's probably under materials, instances, foliage, tree leaves. Okay, we'll just drop that one in. So I got that there. Maple orange. It's not quite red, but whatever. And then, that was the wrong one. That's why that didn't work. It needs to go on. Needs to go on the second slot, and I am 1 minute over. That's okay. There we go. Didn't create any new meshes or child actors because those are expensive either in performance or in or in disk size. So same stuff, but I can easily modify it here. And yeah, it also doesn't have to recompile a blueprint mesh or blueprint actor, which is nice. Come up with all sorts of modifiers for that. And that's, yeah, helping me with one of the many things to help with performance reduction. As you can see, I'm still working on it because we just had a big ol' FPS drop. But it's all a work in progress. So, that's where things are at for this month. I'm now 2 minutes over, but that's okay. We will transition back to big ol' main screen. Whew! Water break. Anyone got questions? Now is the time to ask them. Yeah, for those of you who are, I don't know if it's your first time here, in these dev streams, usually I have a short pre-stream before where you can toss in some questions I might ask. And then on the hour, we start, go for half an hour, and then stop, and I do like 5 to 10 minutes of Q&A or whatever, just depending on who's here, if there are any questions. We did it a little late today just because I started late because I had streaming trouble. But on this note, I actually, if any of you would prefer, I am streaming on, I believe it's live on Twitch as well for me. So, unless my screen is black, which it looks like it is, because, or is it, I don't know. I don't know what's going on Twitch. But I'm here on YouTube. So, yeah, things are coming along. As I also said on my Discord, there are updates being made to Omega. I do have a new version coming at some point, 1.7. However, that will probably be one of the last updates for a little while because I am wanting to refactor and rework a lot of Omega Game Framework. The coding standards the quality of the code when I started is not up to proper standards, and it's a very bloated framework. So I am working on refactoring a lot of stuff. I want to make it as painless as possible to upgrade when you guys eventually when that not this next version, not 1.7, but 1.8, or maybe it'll be 2.0. I don't know. When that comes out, I want to make it as painless for you as possible, but just be aware there may be some deprecated functions and stuff, and you need to change over. I'll try to keep you posted on that, but yeah, so probably not much on Omega Game Framework for a little while, but yeah, it's at 40, so if nobody has any questions, I will head out. Thanks all for coming, and I'll chat with you